Hello, collective. How is everyone doing? It's been a while since I've done a reflection, and I did just want to hop on here really quickly because I feel like I have a lot to say today. Today has been one of those days. I commute for work, and you won't believe what happened to me today. So during my commute home, my daughter came home with me this time. I don't know if I've shared this before, but my daughters live full time in the city where I work. So sometimes they come home with me on the weekends. So my daughter had an appointment and she wanted to, let me fix this mic. Go button my shirt up a little bit more. Child, what do I have going on here? So she wanted to come home this weekend. She had some things to take care of. So she was with me. And maybe an hour into the trip, I hear a woo, like a woo sound in my car, kind of veered a little bit. And I said, what in the world? I think my tire just blew out, but I have like run flat tires. So I pull over, and by the time I pull over, the tire warning light is coming on. So my daughter is in the back seat because my kids have this thing. I don't know if your kids are like this. She's 22, so she's not a child, but she's still my child. So my daughter was in the back seat and I said, "Hey, can you call dad while I figure out how to call roadside assistance?" So I've never called roadside assistance I have a Mercedes, so using Hey Mercedes. So before I was sitting there like, well, how do the car said, Mercedes said, "I've detected your car has sent a mechanical issue alert. Would you like me to call roadside assistance?" So I said, yes. So I called roadside assistance, and modern technology is so amazing. I didn't even have to. I was on one of those Texas routes, right? Because I live in Texas. And I knew what city I was in because the map showed it, but I knew what route I was on. But she was able to get my coordinates. She was able to get a tow truck out. It had to be a flatbed because you can't tow my car. So she said it would take about 45 minutes. So in the meantime, my husband was on his way to get us. Initially, they wanted to tow my car back to the city that I work in. And I was like, no, we're going to tow it to where I live, which was still another 2 hours away. And that I don't live in the city that I work in, because I absolutely do. We have an apartment there that we pay a lot of money for, but that's on another note. So the tow truck driver gets there. Now I'm in small town Texas, so I knew what to expect. He called previously, so I knew what to expect. And my daughter was with me, and he had told me that it only has a front cab, but there's 3 seats. So I knew that I would be sitting in the middle. I knew that we couldn't bring the stuff that we had, which was fine. It was going to the dealership that I purchased it from and that I have it serviced at. So I was fine with that. It's on the way home. We could just stop and pick up our things. So we get in the car, and I told him, I said, we just take us into the next city. There's a McDonald's there, or we'll stop there. And then my husband will be picking us up. He was very nice, very talkative, very friendly also. He was seemed like a really nice person, but I didn't want to ride for another 2 hours in that cab. And there was no seatbelt for me. My daughter had a seatbelt, but there wasn't one for the middle seat. And we were really close. We're with him for like 20 minutes we get to the next city, and we end up at Starbucks. So we wait. It took my husband probably another hour to get there. And on the way home, we stopped at the dealership, and they have to order the tire for my car. I'm just going to end up getting 4 tires anyway. It's about that time. The one thing with this, I have an electric car. I have a Mercedes EQS SUV, and I've had it for like 2.5 years now. The one thing about this car is that I have to get new tires every year. So they didn't have the tires there. I had an appointment in a couple of weeks to get the tires done. So I have to wait for them to order the tires. But that's neither here nor there. That's today. That's what happened today. I wanted to share that with so much going on, it's so easy to live in a bubble, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, I flew to Virginia to pick up my grandson and bring him back. He stayed with us for 2 weeks. That's why I've been MIA. Girl's been busy in toddler land. Um, but I flew in to get him, and I flew back the same day. So I never left the airport. And he's 15 months. So it was an experience. So My grandson is 15 months old, and we hadn't seen him since October. So since we've seen him, he's turned 1, he's walking. We FaceTime him on Sundays, but I think seeing me in person was kind of he was like his grandmother, his mother's mom had dropped him off at the airport. So she kind of hung around for a little bit. He was looking at her and looking at me. And I could see in his mind, he's like, what's getting ready to happen here? And he was smiling at me, but I know he was like, where do I know this lady from? So his grandmother leaves and he cries a little bit, just the tiniest bit. And then we get through security. And once we get to security and closer to our gate, I FaceTime my husband, and then when he saw my husband, I think he started to place me because he and my husband have this really, really close relationship. Like he loves his pop. But I said that to say he was a handful. Like my baby, my youngest son he'll be 14 next month. And I have not traveled with a child that small since he was young, and he was a handful. Also, tried flying with him. But my grandbaby, like, on the flight itself, he was perfect. He fell asleep. Like, his mom was so thorough. She had him some headphones, some noise canceling headphones. So he had those on. He looked out the window and then he fell asleep on both flights. So but it was the layovers, between the flights, and we had a delayed flight. This was at the height of TSA, of the shutdown, and the TSA workers were, it was at the height of all of that. So he was a handful in the airport. Like he was a lot. He would not calm down. We went to lunch. I tried to get him to walk so he would be tired a little bit. He wanted to run. He was a handful in all the best ways. But I said this to say that everyone that we encounter was so friendly. This is my point. This is what I was getting to. Everyone was so friendly. And I think that if we listen to the news and then when we go on social media, we see so much hate. Like there is so much hate over the TV and over the internet. But then when you get with people in person, it's not like that. Like we did not encounter one rude or even indifferent person. Everyone was super friendly. People were talking to him and he was talking to people and people were talking to me also. But it was in a country that's as divided as ours is currently. You wouldn't expect to be greeted so warmly. And perhaps that's the issue. Perhaps I should expect this, but based on what you see, and if I can be honest, I live in a bubble. Like I tell people most of the time that my social media feed is interior decorating, it's outfit of the day, women over 50, positive self talk. That's what I see. When I go to TikTok or Instagram, that's what I see in my timeline. But it's just watching the news or, every once in a while, something um, off kilter will kind of creep in. I have a lot of spirituality stuff in there too. So every once in a while, something off kilter will creep in. But I just wanted, I I said that to say that I still believe that at our core, we are good. I believe it. I'm sorry. Like you can get mad at me. You can say, oh, I don't, I believe at our core that we're good and we're just people trying to figure it out. So, um, I just want us to remember to give one another grace because it is really lacking. Like we just automatically think the worst, right? In most situations, I don't think we give one another enough grace. There. That's on that. I wanted to thank everyone for interacting with the videos. People don't always comment, but I do get a lot of messages regarding the content that I've been posting, and I love that you're enjoying it. Antoinette, I hope that you go back and watch her episode When God Says Go, because she gave a very powerful example of what the voice of God sounded like to her and the cost of the obedience. And I think that in my own personal life, recently, even with this podcast, like moving away from things that I knew God needed me to move away from was painful. It's like the pruning process that I spoke about in another reflection. Um, it's painful, it's bittersweet, but it's necessary. And I think that the more that we prolong it, the worse it can get. And I hate to think that by prolonging it, it ended up. The cost for me was a relationship that was very dear to me. And sometimes I wonder if I had not prolonged it, would that relationship still be intact? Let me know what y'all think, because I don't think that it necessarily, just let me know what y'all think. Because sometimes we say, "Oh, well, when God closes a door, he closes the door." But I don't know if sometimes we lose out on things because of our disobedience. Like if I were obedient when I first got the inkling, or when I first recognized that there was no alignment. I wonder if I had been obedient at that point, if things would have ended up the way that they did. So I don't know. What do you think? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from your experiences. Yeah. So currently now you'll see the shorts for Floria's episode. And Floria is a very, very close friend of mine. She's one of my people. And we have talked in person at length about code switching and corporate culture and becoming the women that we are and the cost and just how to navigate corporate. And I feel like she has provided such valuable advice to me. And I wanted you all to hear from her because I really do think that corporate coaching is in her future because she's so good at it. Like she is just a phenomenal person. Like she truly is. So take a look at the shorts. The episode releases on Monday, and I believe that you all will enjoy it. I do. I think you'll enjoy it. Um, what else do we have here? I feel like there was so much that I wanted to say that I haven't really had an opportunity to speak about. Oh, on the way back today, this is good. I want to know what y'all think about this for real. I have in my TikTok feed, I came across a woman who was showing her new home, and she and her husband had different bedrooms. They had a madam and a Mr. suite. And I asked my husband, I said, what do you think about that? And he was like, absolutely not. No, we're married. We sleep together. And I said, well, I sleep away from home 2 nights per week. I have my own apartment. I have my own bedroom in the apartment that the girls and I share. We have our own bedrooms there. And uh, I don't, to be honest, I don't sleep as well there as I do at home because my our bed at home is just it's like a whole thing. Like, it's hard to get up. I look forward to going to bed and night here because that bed is just, oh my God, it's everything. But anyway, so I told my husband, I said, I will be open to it because I like to have light on when I sleep, at least like a lamp. I also like to sleep with the TV on. I have to have some type of noise. And then I read sometimes at night and I use my iPad and it can be disturbing for him. My husband is also a very cold person. Like he's one of those people, he runs the air probably a good 10 months, maybe 10 and a half months out of the year. We live in Texas too. So the air is always on. The temperature here is always a 70 degrees. There are days where I have to say, turn the air off. It's only 50 degrees outside. Like, really, dude, come on. So I think, and I like to have the fan on, like the ceiling fan. I like to sleep with it on. I just don't want to be frozen. He doesn't like to sleep with it on. And I tried to make the case with him. I said, we could have a bathroom that connects it. And my husband always says this thing. He's always like, you must be outside your mind. Like when I say something that's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I knew he wasn't going for it because he called me Miss Hawkins. And he don't really, that's our name. I know when he's serious, when he's like, "What, Miss Hawkins." So I wanna know what you think, though. I think it's a great idea. Like, I think that we can still come together, and I told him he was like, "Well, why would you have your room and I have mine? Like, it's ours." I said, "Well, both room will be ours, and we could we could schedule intimate time." And he's like, "What? No, no, that's insane. That's insane." But people used to do it, right? Like, they used to do it. Like, I watch all of these shows, like, on the Gilded Age, and they're not sleeping in the same room. Like, even if you watch Bridgerton, they're not sleeping in the same room. Like, when did men and women start to sleep together? Like, when did that become the norm? And why is it the norm? Like, is it rational that two people should be able to sleep together in the same bed, in the same room? We're going on 18 years. So, I don't think there would be any harm with it, but he's just absolutely not for it. So I want to hear what y'all think. Like, let me know how you feel about not sleeping together. So, yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about is Real Housewives of Atlanta premiered last week, and I can't wait to jump into it with Angel. She's on vacation. She's headed out for vacation. When she returns, we'll be discussing it, and I can't wait to get into the weeds of it and discuss it more at length. Also, let's see. She and I are working on she's working on a new channel called Life After Loss where she's tackling grief, and we're collaborating on a Mother's Day special. So we're interviewing women who are living without their mothers and also mothers who are living without their children for Mother's Day. So we'll start the rollout for it on my channel the week leading up to Mother's Day. May is also Mental Health Month. And if you finish reading Brown Silk, good, because I have Taisha Ryan on and I loved speaking with her. It was such a good conversation. I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for you all to hear it. But yeah, I think that might be it. I think I might be out of things to discuss or reflect on for this reflection that is long overdue. I thought that it would be longer, but I guess not. Like if this is it, this is it. I'm not gonna push it, but I do feel like I had so much more. My husband and I took our son to the New Edition concert, and when I say that it was amazing, it was amazing. Like, I must have screamed the entire night from start to finish. It was so nostalgic. Like, you could have transported me back to my room with the posters from Right On magazine of New Edition, even with Boys to Men. Oh my God. Because Boys to Men are actually my age. New Edition, they were a little bit older than I was, but I went to see them for the first time in Cleveland, Ohio, at the front row. I was 10 years old, so it was 1984. And my cousin Deanna took my sister and I, and I'll never forget. I had on these plaid pants. They were like, I don't want to say skinny, but they were plaid pants. I had on some white kids and a white tank top. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was getting it at the New Edition concert with my cousin Deanna. And if she were on social, I would tag her in this, but she's not. So yeah, it was a great time. And my son enjoyed it too, my 14-year-old son. We've taken him to concerts before. He's a big Kendrick Lamar fan, so we surprised him last year for his birthday with tickets to see Kendrick Lamar. And he said that this concert was better than the Kendrick Lamar concerts. And my husband, when we go, we're gonna have VIP, floor seats, all of that. So we didn't do all that with Kendrick Lamar. So my son had an opportunity to have that experience and he really enjoyed it. I had so much fun with him. I had fun with my kids. So yeah, so that's that. And now I think that I am really going to wrap this up because I don't think I have any more to say. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. Don't forget to catch out the episodes, like, comment, and subscribe. Email me if you have any questions or because I am going to open up a collective I'll call it a collective minds where you have questions, I'll answer them, a collective Q&A. So you can email me at commonculture@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow the socials. They're all Common Culture Collective um, on Instagram and TikTok. I have to get more active in those spaces and I'm working on it. But yeah, thank you, collective. Thank you for continuing to rock with me. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hope that everyone is having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.